Today's lesson, we are going to talk about rational numbers, most particularly that of your fractions and decimals. We are going to focus on how we are going to convert terminating decimals into fractions. I would like you now to get your guided notes and follow along with me. Okay, so what are rational numbers? Rational numbers are fractions, which could either be mixed number, improper fraction, proper fraction. It could be counting numbers. They could be integers. They could either be also a decimal number, which should be terminating and repeating. We will determine what are terminating and repeating later, and we will also include your perfect squares and cubes as rational numbers. So now let us see this fraction, 3/4. We are going to change this into a decimal number. What did we say again? To change a fraction into a decimal number, we are going to divide the numerator by the denominator. You know how to do this. How many 4 goes to 3? Nothing. So we will add another 0 over there. So how many 4 goes to 30? We will have 7 because that is 28. So let's subtract it to, let us add another 0. Let us see what happens. 20. How many 4 goes to 20 will be 520. And then if we subtract that, oh, we stop dividing. So when we change 3/4 into a decimal number by dividing, then we stop dividing. This is what we call your terminating decimal. 0.75 is a terminating decimal because it is yield or produced when we are changing decimal number and we stop dividing. All right? So 3/4 is in decimal, it is equivalent to 0.75, a terminating decimal number because we stop dividing. Is there a rule of thumb on how to determine whether a fraction will yield a terminating decimal? Yes, it is. There's a shortcut of that. Look at your denominator. What are the factors of your denominator? 4, 2. This is the only prime factor for 4. If that is the case, that is, you're going to produce a terminating decimal. If the only prime factor of your denominator could either be 2, 5, or 2 and 5, then you will come up with a terminating decimal. Now let us try to see this one. What about if I have 5/9? Look at your your denominator. 9. Are the prime factors 2 and 5? No, it is 3. Because of this, if your prime factors, if the prime factors, one of the factors I should say, of your denominator could either be 3, 6, or 9, then you do not have a terminating decimal. Let us see what happens. It says there, it repeats. So it is producing a repeating decimal. But what is a repeating decimal? Let us try to see by trying to divide or converting 5/9 into a decimal number. How many 9 goes to 5? It is nothing. So let's add another 0 so we can have a decimal number. How many 9 goes to 50 is 5, right? Because that is going to be 45. So you subtract that, it gives you 5. Let's add another one so we can see what happens if we end. Okay, it is again 45. 5, okay, 5, oh my gosh, right? It is good. Keep on going. If we keep on adding zeros, we will still have 5, 5, 5, 5, 5, right? So it repeats. There's a digit that is being repeated. So this is what we call a repeating decimal number. 5/9 yields us a repeating decimal 0.45555. Sometimes you put dots at the end, or you could also say 0.5 or 55 is being repeated, we have that. These are the two ways on how you know it is a repeating decimal. That's over there, or there's a bar in there. All right. Do we have any questions? So these are what we call, how do we change it into a decimal number, your fractions, okay? Now let us see, let's change another way. What about if I'm giving a decimal number and I am asked to change it into a fraction? How do I do that? We are going to focus on terminating decimal like 0.952. If you know your place value, it is going to be helpful in changing a terminating decimal into a fraction, because it will tell you how you write the fraction. Like the first place value after that decimal number, the decimal point is 10th. So that is 9th. If you have up to second decimal places, you have hundreds, and third one is thousands. So let us try to see this. 0.7 is read as 7/10. So if we read it as 7/10, then we can write it as 7/10. You see what I mean? When you know your place value, it is easy to change it into a fraction. Now, is that your final answer? When I say, is that your final answer, can you simplify that still? What goes to 7? That goes also to 10. Nothing except 1. So we're good. Okay, so meaning to say 7/10 in decimal, in fraction is 7/10. Now let us see 84 hundredths. 0.84. So if we try to have that, so 84 hundredths. Got it? Now, can you simplify that fraction? What goes to 84 that goes to 100? It is 4, so we will divide the numerator and the denominator by the GCF of 4. So that is going to be 29/24. Okay, this terminating decimal 0.84 can be changed into a fraction 21/24 in simplest form. Okay, get your guided notes and follow me, okay? Now let us go to the third example. 0.925, which can be read as 925,000. So we will have 925 thousands. Okay? Is this our final answer? No, because we can still simplify this, which is what goes to 925, that goes to 100, and that is the GCF is 25. Okay, so we will divide that. We will have 37/40. This is equivalent to the decimal number 0.925, a terminating decimal. Ms. Romel, we cannot memorize the place value, so we will not be able to do this. Yes, you can. I will give you a shortcut for this. How many decimal places are there in 0.7? 1. Your denominator should always be powers of 10 if you have a terminating decimal number. Powers of 10 like 10, 100, 1,000, 10,000. Those are your denominators. The number of decimal places that you have in the decimal point is how many zeros there are in your denominator. Look at this, 0.7. How many decimal places? 1. That is why we only have 1 0 over there. Next, how many decimal places are here? There are 2. That is why there are 2 zeros in your denominators. How many decimal places are here? 3. That is the reason why we have 3 zeros in the denominator. We're good? Okay. Suspend your questions. When we will be in class later on, you're going to ask questions. All right. So let us proceed to the next. Let us see what is in store for us. Now, pause. Will you try to see this in your guided notes. Show me how you are going to change this number, negative 5.04, into a decimal number. Pause. And we are going, after you do your part, let us try to come together and we will discuss after. All right? After that, there's a piece of paper for your skill drill, and there is your mastery check in your guided notes. All right? I will go around as you go do your skill drill, but for your mastery check, I would like you to do it on your own. Yes, you can help one another for your skill drill. Right? You can help one another. If you need to go back to this video, go back to this video. If you need somebody else help, do it. And if you need me, if nobody knows how to do it, ask me. All right? Okay.